And we're back to review Broadway, Off Broadway, and other regional shows because we're big fans of theater. I've been living in the New York City area for many years and I've seen multiple theaters, both musical and plays.
And I was a theater major and have grown up watching Broadway shows and being in shows and all that.
We discovered this interactive off Broadway play currently at stage 42.
Dungeons and Dragons, the 20-Sided Tavern. It's an interactive adventure, live on stage, but
Is it worth seeing?
what if you've never played?
Do you have to be a massive gamer?
You don't have to roll the dice, just keep watching. This show, 20-Sided Tavern, was born out of celebrating the 50th anniversary of one of the world's greatest role-playing games.
And thus was born the 20-Sided Tavern.
The setting is obviously in a tavern, but it's also pretty much the greatest game room you could have.
As the show goes on, the cast and audience solve puzzles, explore hidden secrets, and conquer in action. This is the adventure you've been waiting for.
So what did you think about the set?
Oh, the set's pretty interesting. So there's a projector behind, so that it could change the scene. But the tavern itself is pretty interesting, appropriate for a Dungeons and Dragons, a fantasy setting.
And you could see that there were multiple things that were able to be used from the set. Not everything was used in our production, but it could be used in other productions.
Right.
Because this show changes constantly. The other thing is I heard people talking behind us. They thought only the middle of the screen was going to adjust. But the entire back screen adjusts to show and set up other things within the show. So that's really cool. Also, before the shows you're watching, it's going to show you interesting facts about Dungeons and Dragons. And if you don't know what they're talking about, you're going to catch up by watching some of the stuff that they have on that screen.
Right. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. I've heard of it. But I was interested, but didn't have any friends who play
It's hard. It's hard to get into, and it's even harder to find people as you're an adult. Wah. Let's talk about the audience choices.
Well, the audience choices affect everything from the actors' characters to where they go, and if missions and quests are successful or not.
It's an ever-changing adventure with live dice rolls with a huge dice, audience choice, and a host of hidden secrets. And it's never the same show twice.
So, using Gameotics, a browser-based software that the audience connects with to their smartphone, you can tell the performers what to do, where to go, and what kind of dangers they'll face. Was the app easy to use?
The app was very easy to use. You just scan something in your play code, and you're off and going. They're actually kind of setting you up to play throughout the game during the pre-show because they're having you already start to do little things with your phone.
Right. So this interactive part is really fun. It changes the show a bit. It changes what types of characters. By the way, it's a role-playing game. If you haven't heard of don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. You can be a mage, you can be a
trickster,
thief, a ranger.
A whole bunch of... There's a lot of things in the game. They simplify it for this show, so it's a little bit easier to follow. The mage, the trickster, and the warrior.
And there are 3 players, so depending on the QR code that you get with the playbill, you scan it, and then you know which player are you rooting for, or you'll be sort of controlling.
The tavern itself is located at stage 42, as we said, 422 West 42nd Street, New York, New York.
The show just opened May 5th, 2024.
And they're saying, as long as they can, they want to keep running, as well as add more campaigns. So it looks like they do multiple campaigns as is, but it would be really fun to see some more stuff go on.
The cast.
Cassidy Sledge was our dungeon master when we saw it. There are other dungeon masters available.
Alex Sampoli, the tavern keeper, understudy.
He was kind of in charge of the drinks, the scores, and the atmosphere.
Yes.
Madeline Murphy was our mage.
Tyler Noel Felix was the warrior.
And Diego F. Salinas was our trickster. You were in the trickster tribe, right?
Yes.
And I was a mage. Giddy up, cowpokes.
Oh.
Now, we won't go too far into that, but you're going to be able to help them pick their characters. They each have some things that they like to play around with.
It's kind of a funny combination. I guess we can tell them with Madeline Murphy, who is the mage, ending up becoming a...
She was an undead cowboy. It was so funny.
And the trickster was...
The trickster was like a liar wizard. He wasn't really a wizard.
So that sets up their character. And mind you, I don't think it's that scripted, right? It's more like an improv.
Oh, it's everything that the characters are saying are going to be improv.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure even the DM adjusts their scenario. That things can change. There's different people that play as well, so it's not just these three. There's multiple people, so you could go back and see a completely different cast. So, this game is for gamers and non-gamers alike.
20-Sided Tavern could be easy to compare to going to a game show and an improv show both in one.
Did you enjoy the combination of an improv show and a game show?
Well, I do like game shows, which we watch. The improv is kind of interesting. I haven't seen a lot of it. I haven't even watched a lot of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Meanwhile, I did improv for 4 years. Oh my gosh.
Right. So I guess this is the verdict section where we tell them our thoughts and tell them if it's worth seeing or not.
This is what you've been waiting for.
So, should I go first? Or
you can go first.
Okay. I was a little bit skeptical being, a non-Dungeons and Dragons player. But the interactivity portion of the play is something new. It piqued my curiosity. So I went with Finn. And once we started, it was like kind of interesting. There's a lot of interaction. Some players get even called on stage. And I actually ended up enjoying the show. Being the plot is kind of random, it's dependent on the roll of a dice. The characters were very good at improving and very funny. I ended up rooting for them, to succeed in their journey and their quest.
And it was funny to see the things that the dice can do as well as the effects that the audience has on things. There was a cue for a lighting change that the audience had to decide the lighting change. I thought that was the coolest thing, that all of a sudden you're part of the atmosphere as well.
And you feel the audience are really engaged as well, which helps with the whole overall tone.
As you can see, I have a slight obsession with dice. This is part of the collection. But I haven't played more than, I would say, 2 hours of Dungeons and Dragons. I have played other role-playing games. And I think on the basis that I've had in that interactivity and my knowledge of that world, this stands up for those people. But it also stands up for the people that have kind of been interested in it, as well as might not have had as much interest, but just want to see something that's a little bit different. Yeah.
Right.
If you want to go ahead and see it, I suggest it. If you like it, guess what? You can go back and get a different show, and maybe this will inspire a little bit of family game time.
That's another good thing about the show. It's rewatchable. The plot could change a little bit depending on the types of characters that was randomly selected.
I believe they have different
and
campaigns.
Voted for. Yes.
Yes.
They might have different campaigns too. So, I would give it a thumbs up. It's
I'm
recommended.
also
Go
giving
see
it a thumbs up. This is good. It's fun. Yeah.
Go see it.
20-sided tavern. Dungeons and Dragons 20-sided tavern. Like, share, subscribe, comment.
If you've seen the show, tell us, in the comments below. Let us know what you think, what type of show it was.
And one of us is on the Discord server as well. So, we'll see you there, maybe.
Hopefully.
Let's roll the
Thanks
dice.
for watching.
Bye.